Right, so Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton are facing off for the women's title at the upcoming WrestleMania this year, but the feud between Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton in the lead-up has been less than stellar. In fact, it's not been a very good feud, but last night something happened in the feud that absolutely changes everything, and has just turned this entire program into an even bigger train wreck, as last night during their promo segment, Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton were reportedly shooting on each other. And in the best way possible, it was an absolute car crash. But what's actually happened in this feud so far? Why has it been so bad? And what happened to cause what happened last night on that promo segment and for them to shoot on each other? So yeah, Charlotte Flair returned back to WWE earlier this year following a long-term injury that kept her away from action for about a year or so. And upon return, she would of course go on to win the Women's Royal Rumble, guaranteeing her a title match at WrestleMania of her choosing. And naturally, right from the get-go, people figured that Charlotte Flair was going to face Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania for the women's title. It just made the most sense. The other option was Rhea Ripley, who Charlotte has faced multiple times at WrestleMania before, so it wasn't needed. And as well, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair is just a match that makes a lot of sense. They'd probably have good chemistry, have similar styles, and Tiffany Stratton is very similar to how Charlotte Flair used to be when she was coming up in WWE. A match that makes sense, and hey, they're both good talkers, they're both good wrestlers. Surely this feud and this program is going to be a compelling and a good one, right? Well, not really, because WWE here had the uphill task of turning Tiffany Stratton into a babyface. I don't know if that was always the intention, because Charlotte Flair returned back to WWE as a babyface and was a babyface for a while before eventually switching it up because the crowds just turned on her. The crowds turning on her is also an important point for later on, so look out for that. And so yeah, the first few weeks of this feud after Charlotte Flair made her selection of Tiffany Stratton was basically WWE just trying to build up Tiffany Stratton as a sympathetic babyface, and by doing that, they were just having Charlotte Flair dominate her and destroy her every week. As on every single episode of SmackDown for a couple of weeks, Tiffany Stratton was getting beaten down by Charlotte Flair or other members of the roster, with Charlotte Flair standing over her tall at the end of the segment every single week. And yeah, it's something that wasn't really working. The feud wasn't super exciting, and I wanted to see some more focus and some more in-ring promos and segments between the two, with them actually talking to each other. And I would finally get my wish, as a couple of weeks ago on SmackDown there would be a side-to-side interview slash promo between the two, and after watching this, maybe I have to be careful for what I wish for, because in this side-by-side promo, Charlotte Flair just absolutely destroys Tiffany Stratton in this interview. She really showed the experience levels between herself and Tiffany Stratton, who really didn't know what to say or how to rebuttal to any of Charlotte Flair's remarks, and at times it was a bit of an uncomfortable watch, with many people accusing Charlotte Flair of intentionally burying Tiffany Stratton. It felt as though Charlotte Flair was going off tangent and off script more than usual, with Tiffany Stratton not really knowing how to respond, and rather than coming up with her own response, just going back to the regular script and going through the promo segment. And as a result, she didn't come out of this looking very good, and like I said, Charlotte Flair just embarrassed Tiffany Stratton right here. And overall, in the end, this didn't really help the program between the two, and if anything, just hurt Tiffany Stratton's character as a babyface. And it was going to be very interesting to see how WWE would follow up with Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton with just a few weeks to go until WrestleMania and their big match. And well, the follow-up we would get is possibly the craziest follow-up imaginable, as last night on SmackDown we finally got an in-ring talking segment with Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton. And let me tell you, this time Tiffany Stratton came locked and loaded and ready and had the receipts prepared for Charlotte Flair in this promo segment, and I need to give the entire rundown on this entire segment because my word, what a car crash. So the segment begins obviously with both ladies coming out to the ring. It's being hosted by Wade Barrett, who introduces both of them into the ring and starts asking questions to both competitors, just generic questions about the match coming up. He asks Charlotte first, and the crowd are pretty dead at first and do let her speak this time round, with Tiffany Stratton giving her the rebuttal that Charlotte Flair's biggest competitor has always been the crowd and she's never won that, and that she can win all the belts in the world but she'll always be second to her daddy, Jeez, wow, what a beginning. And Charlotte Flair would try to respond but just wouldn't be able to, as the crowd completely just drown her out and are completely overpowering her in decibels right now. And Charlotte Flair just isn't being allowed to speak by the crowd in attendance, and it's just getting worse. No matter how hard Charlotte tries, the crowd just aren't having it. And yeah, this is a turning point in the promo, as seemingly she quits the segment midway through and just stops speaking and following the script. Every time she tries to speak, she's drowned out by boos. She acknowledges the crowd, goes silent, repeat, repeat, repeat. Charlotte Flair then tells Tiffany Stratton, "You go on, you have the last word, sis," and Tiffany Stratton then just absolutely rinses her for her failed volleyball career. She says outside of the ring, she isn't the queen of shit, she's WWE's least favorite nepo baby, and at Mania, Charlotte will be just like how she is outside the ring, alone, acknowledging her recent divorce from Andrade, which is just absolutely crazy. And then the ending line of this segment, which I'm gonna try play a clip for you because you just have to hear this.
What is that record? Like what? 0-3? Woo! Hey, Tiffany, is that why Kaiser's in my DMs?
So yeah, if you didn't catch what just happened there, Tiffany Stratton referred to Charlotte as 0-3, referring to her 3 divorces, and Charlotte Flair, in a rebuttal that was very clearly off this script, asks, "Why is Ludwig Kaiser in my DMs then?" Ludwig Kaiser, of course, being another WWE wrestler who is the real-life partner of Tiffany Stratton. And yeah, what an absolutely mad segment, and right from the moment it was over, everyone immediately knew that there was no way that half the stuff that was said in this segment was meant to be said and was scripted. There was just no way, and sure enough, it was reported by WrestleVotes that they went off script a lot in this moment here, and WWE themselves would seemingly confirm this when they took down the video from their social feeds, seemingly not wanting to acknowledge or showcase the fact that these two ladies just went completely off script and off the rails against each other. And yeah, I still can't believe what I watched. 2 weeks ago, Charlotte Flair bitched out Tiffany Stratton in that side-by-side interview, but in this in-ring promo here, Tiffany Stratton absolutely mogged Charlotte Flair. I've never seen Charlotte Flair quite freeze up like that in the ring before. She did not know how to handle the crowd just completely drowning her out, and I don't think she was expecting the receipts that Tiffany Stratton came prepared with, and to be honest, I'm not sure I was either. Bringing up Charlotte Flair's 3 divorces, including her recent one with Andrade, calling her a nepo baby, oh my word, it was just an absolute mogging from Tiffany Stratton, like I said. It was car crash TV that I almost couldn't take my eyes away from. It reminded me of Cody Rhodes in AEW. An absolute train wreck, but a unique train wreck, one like I've never seen before, that I simply just can't take my eyes off of. That is Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton in their feud right now, as despite the fact that this program has not been good whatsoever, I'm now fairly invested in it because of this segment that we just saw, and I have no idea how they're going to respond to it, and I also have no idea what the situation with Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton backstage even is. Is there heat between the two of them? Charlotte Flair in the segment as well was also making these weird noises and responses to Tiffany Stratton and the crowd that again you could tell weren't in the run sheet and weren't meant to be done in this segment. And when Charlotte Flair invited Tiffany to have the last words, I think in her head all she was thinking is that Tiffany would just be like, "Oh, WrestleMania will be Tiffy time," or whatever, not bringing up her being 0-3. Ludwig Kaiser also responded on Twitter with this video.
"Please do not flatter yourself."
And yeah, what a funny situation. Whatever happens for the next few weeks will definitely not top that, and I'm sure WWE will be being a lot more careful in how they script these segments with Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton, and probably telling them, hey, shut the fuck up and stop going off script and stop bringing up your personal lives with each other, I beg. But yeah, I guess we'll just see where the program goes from here, but regardless, I still can't believe what I saw last night from Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton, a certified crash out. But guys, that's it from me on this video. If you did enjoy, then be sure to smash the like button and comment down below your thoughts on this entire Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton segment and storyline and what's going on with it. And subscribe those notifications on so you never miss a video on the channel. I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye and keep on rolling.